Hello there. Welcome to Effective Mind Control. Think of this. You can identify one of the millions of images you have seen in just half a second. Could you have done that if such images were not stored in your memory? Could you have spotted them, without recognizing them? Where are such images stored? How are they recognized? Science lacks even a hypothesis about this mystery. But for science, combinatorial memories can be infinite. Elimination algorithms identify patterns in such memories in milliseconds. For Abraham Thomas, an engineer, intuition is such pattern recognition. Every act of the human mind results from pattern recognition. Human creativity depends on it. Human genius derives from it. Consciousness is powered by it. Fear and anger are unleashed by it. Without intuitive pattern recognition, there would be no civilization. Only stones and ice would exist today. Is intuitive pattern recognition meaningless? Intuition is a logical algorithm, which enables a reasoned conversation between the various organs of the brain. In such conversations, the amygdala hears the news faster than your conscious awareness. The unique speed dial circuits of the two almond-sized nuclei within your brain are the first to hear and react to emotionally significant events. With these organs, intuition protects you from harm by interpreting subconscious hints of danger to trigger lightning-fast responses. Intuition enables these organs to detect and respond to subliminal signals of danger, or of obstructions to one's goals. Intuition coordinates conversations of the amygdala with the insula to respond with alacrity to negative emotions like grief, guilt, envy, or shame. The amygdala reacts to negative events by activating your sympathetic nervous system. The results cause you gut-wrenching turmoil. While it takes around 300 milliseconds for consciousness to hear of a disturbing event, the amygdala react to it within 20 milliseconds. Sadly, the knee-jerk responses of these organs cause you to overreact to the world around you. Their momentary mischief in the morning can subconsciously trouble you the whole day. During the early beginnings of life, nature developed the amygdala as a defense response mechanism for animals. Recognizing danger patterns, intuition enabled the organs to trigger fight, freeze, or escape responses. As essential as the vertebrae, these organs protected fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds and mammals from harm. Later, the evolutionary process evolved more sophisticated emotions to support herd life among animals. These social emotions were triggered from the insula, another organ in the limbic system. The amygdala is a bundled network of neurons, about 1 inch in length, in the limbic system, deep within the brain. Specific regions within it receive sensory inputs and other regions trigger control responses. The lateral amygdala receives inputs from sight, sound, touch, taste and pain systems. The medial nucleus receives inputs from the olfactory system. Deciding on the emotional significance of received sensory inputs, the central nucleus of the organ talks to the brainstem, triggering, typically jumpy, avoidance behavior. Conversations with the hypothalamus activate the sympathetic nervous system, raising blood pressure and heartbeats. Communication with the facial nerves generate varied expressions, including anger, fear and disgust. Norepinephrine, dopamine, serotonin, and acetylcholine released from the amygdala raise or lower the interactivity of critical networks, heightening the intensity of fight, flight or freeze responses. In primeval animals, it was the amygdala, which initiated primitive anger and fear. Later, with the arrival of herd living, more subtle social emotions emerged. The insulae, organs in the limbic system, triggered varied emotion signals, each specifically accompanied by pleasant or unpleasant bodily sensations, the warmth of love, or the pain of guilt. It was Antonio Damasio who suggested that it was the insulae, which link bodily sensations to emotions. Eisenberger's research at UCLA reports a typical link of emotions to sensations. Neural pain circuits were found to be activated when a person suffers social rejection. The pain of rejection differs from the pain of a pinprick. Pain is known to have two pathways. One carries the pain sensation. Signals in the other carry a feeling of hurt, which is reported to be more disagreeable. Such negative sensation signals from the insula reach the amygdala. The organ registers memories of the painful sensations related to social emotions. They react to the felt feelings of hate, disgust, shame, guilt, envy, jealousy, sadness and despair. The amygdala observes subtle patterns. Recent Harvard research reported the reactions of the organ when subjects looked at photos of angry and fearful faces. The organ can identify anger or fear in a face. It can also determine the threat level of an angry or fearful face. You are not under threat when an angry person glares at somebody else. But, if he glares at you, your amygdala fires instantly. You are not in danger if a person looks with fear at you. The amygdala remains silent. But if the fearful face looks elsewhere, there is danger nearby. Your amygdala responds again. Not only does the organ identify fear and anger in a face, it is also sensitive to the threat implied by gaze directions. The amygdala have been noted to assist in the memory formation of emotional events. In experiments on caged rats, the animals received painful foot shocks, accompanied by specific sounds. Later, the sounds alone were observed to induce stresses in the animal. The sound signals were noted to generate stronger responses in the input synapses of the amygdala. The neural junctions receiving the signals increased intracellular calcium, leading to protein synthesis. The sound-to-pain relationship was retained in memory as long-term potentiation, LTP, a persisting potential, causing the amygdala to react more readily to signs of danger. LTP has serious implications. Over the years, the amygdala remember the things you felt, saw and heard, each time you had a painful experience. Subliminal hints of such stressful events, even photos, will cause the organs to set off attack or escape routines. Those motor routines trigger evasive actions or internal turmoil. Before you know it, you will become angry, or try to avoid the situation. If you cannot solve the issue, angry, defensive, or fearful internal voices will nag you. The amygdala will overwhelm you with responses to real and imaginary threats for a lifetime, unless you consciously take control of their knee-jerk responses. Mirror neurons are believed to create empathy by assisting you to internally experience the actions and emotions of people. Being sensitive to incoming sensory patterns, the amygdala are quick to recognize the presence of negative emotions in others. In the process, these organs empower social interactions. If the amygdala are damaged, animals fail to react to threatening situations with emotions or avoidance behaviors. A damaged amygdala is associated with the condition of autism, or social blindness. While you may forget a compliment, your amygdala will never forget a slight. When the organ becomes oversensitive to real or imagined stress points, anger becomes a problem. Grief is a social emotion, which triggers pain. When life deals you a severe blow, it is but natural to feel sadness and to dwell on the images of what might have been. All such images trigger evasive action by the amygdala, which desperately seeks an impossible escape from the sense of loss. Envy is triggered by failure and jealousy, by the prospect of failure. Both emotions cause pain. The amygdala triggers urgent but fruitless searches to avoid the pain. Failure leads to anger and negative behavior. You can learn to still the animal responses of the amygdala and gain your peace of mind. Thank you very much for watching this effective mind control video. When you view the brain as a pattern recognition machine, many ancient mysteries vanish. Do come back to this channel. See you next time.